welcome back to another video. Today we're just going up for a bit of a cruise. Decided to get the car out and kind of just walk you through a little bit more of the vehicle. And yeah, and then enjoy the video and like, comment, subscribe if you want to see any more. So let's get into it. We did a manual conversion in the last video. If you haven't seen that, go watch that. It's pretty well a step-by-step process to manual swapping this beautiful old car. So guys, we'll start off with the exterior. Straight off the bat, this is a 1990 Series 3 wagon. It's an executive, so it's a base model, the poverest model you can find, and it's a wagon. When I bought this car, I found some rims for it, which I got the TIs. So they're off like the Calais version of the Skylines pretty well. So they're the TI. So they're the highest pack with the luxury. And they're the wheels that they come on. They come on 15s by about 7s with a pretty poor offset. As you can see, they don't fit very well. They're purely just bolted on, no spaces. So I'd like to bring them out at least 30 mil all round, and I think they'd look a lot more nicer, but I think I'm gonna go a different wheel eventually, so we'll just keep that style. It keeps me out of trouble. So with executives, if you know for the wagons, they didn't come with this centerpiece. So these are actually different to the center garnish. With the executives, they just come with the center garnish. I got the add-ons for a very good price, for about 50 bucks, which are extremely rare now because the wagons were just, they didn't really come with them. The only ones that came with were the GXEs, and I think that's really about it, and imports. But the imports, again, they came with Skyline on here as well, so they were imprinted, and then the outer garnishes. Another exterior mod I've done is suspension components. So as you can see, it's pretty low in the rear. Mind you, a lot of this height is from the tyre size. So this is still a 15, but it's a 195/55. So there's no sidewall on it. That's why it looks so low in the rear. But this is originally Loveday lowered springs with about 1.5 coils chopped out of it. I don't usually like chopping springs, but as soon as they're a heavy duty spring or an aftermarket spring, which is meant to be lowered, keeps that spring rate so it's not as bouncy. Hence why I don't really mind chopping if they're lowered. So, but yeah, in the rear, it's slammed. We've got lowered suspension in the front. I'm running a stock strut. There's no S13 front end in this at all, but we're running a king spring. So it has a heavy duty spring rate and it's a lot nicer to drive. Hence why I think this handles pretty well, because it does have lowered suspension all around. A lot of people just chop the stock stuff and it is dog shit. So don't do that. If you're gonna chop springs at all, at least do it the semi-okay way. Get some lowered suspension and chop the lowered stuff, because don't chop stock stuff, it's dog shit. So, like I said guys, this engine is completely stock. It's still got AC, which is a bonus, because this thing is just a cruiser. At the moment, it's just a cruiser, with especially being NA. So it's got stock extractors, it's got the AC, stock intake, stock airbox. Still got the stock radiator. So the good thing about this car, it has original books, which is really good to see. Like I said, the guy that I bought it from was the original owner. He was actually 94 years old, which is pretty bizarre to think about. His son actually sold me the vehicle. I actually met the old dude, the 94-year-old, and he was all there. His body just couldn't keep up with his mind. So yeah, it is pretty cool to have all this information about a 32-year-old car. And then it's got the owner's manual, which is good. So it does have a full service history, and it was always serviced at Nissan, which is a really big bonus. So that's another good thing. So at least we know it's healthy. At least we know the history of it, and that's kind of why I bought it. So if you guys don't know what engine these are, they're a 3-litre inline 6. They're called the RB30, and they're pretty renowned to be known in the VL Commodore. They also share the same platform with the Skylines, so they're a very reliable motor. They're still distributor, so they are a little bit dicky sometimes, but if you look after them and service them, and you can have a very reliable car. So interior time. So I did a few little comfort mods. So straight off the bat, this is an executive, so they come with the very average and a non-adjustable seat. So we put in the TI seats, which make a huge difference. So if you have a look, they're just the brown TI seats. They're actually a nice little design, but sadly we can't actually put the rears in because TIs never came out in wagons. So I can put the bottom in, can't put the backrest in, which is annoying, but it is what it is. That little bit extra comfort, we put a silhouette steering wheel in it, which makes a huge difference because the standard ones in the executives are almost like 1.5 times the size, and they're ridiculous. So when we converted it to manual, we put the manual surround trim piece in, and it's really all tied together. So this R31 is powered by a stock RB30, which goes into the RB30 gearbox, which came out of another R31 wagon, into the standard tail shaft, into some 389 auto diff gears. The 389s in the back of these, they give them a little bit more grunt, a little bit more go. So if you're looking at doing a manual conversion in your auto, definitely keep your auto diff gears because it's gonna make the thing drive a lot nicer, and it'll be a little bit quicker. It's not gonna be a heap quicker, but let's go for a drive. Honestly, I was very happy that I pulled it out of another vehicle so I could take everything, all the bolts. I didn't really have any messing around. Like, I didn't have to go source any parts. The only thing I had to do was find a slave. So in that aspect, it made it very easy for me just to put everything I needed ready to go into the car. Made sure I had my checklist, all my bolts, and a little bit of knowledge and general tools, and we slapped it in. So installation wise, very good. Now, drivability, they're wicked. They changed this car completely. The only thing I do miss is the cruising aspect of the auto. The manual's really good. It goes hard. It actually encourages you to drive like a bit of a wanker a little bit. But honestly, once I changed my bushes, I found that my clutch drivability was really nice. It was just a heavy duty clutch. Once I did my rear bushes, I wasn't jolting around, and it was actually a really comfortable ride. So that's a bonus. Do your bushes in these things because they're so simple, so easy. They're just, once they're done, they make your life so much easier. Hey Jordan, can you catch? Alright, we'll go for a bit of a drive, let it warm up, and then I want you to give me your honest thoughts, because this is the first time you're driving it, hey?
Well, I've done a little blocking when we first done the conversion, but first time getting over probably 50 k's, yeah. Probably first time driving a 31 too.
Yeah.
It's weird having a mate who's so in love with them, and you just look at him like, what the fuck? Very thrashable. I reckon it's a small steering wheel.
That makes it feel rowdy.
Yeah.
With you saying that, that they're very thrashable, you have to thrash them to go anywhere. That's the issue.
Yeah.
You really have to push the car forward and get your speed up. Otherwise, you don't feel like you're going anywhere. But that also makes the driving very enjoyable because you feel like you can thrash it. A lot of the times, these cars would not send you astray.